Hi there. This is a tarot reading for my Libra friends by request of a dear friend. I miss you too. And it is Libra birthday season. I had the opportunity to do a personal reading for another Libra friend here, and during that reading, the card, one of Libra's cards, the Justice card, kept coming up. And that card has been trying to teach me something and come up with something to tell me. So, which I am slightly dense to. I'll have to say that. So, I feel that really open and humble before this reading for Libras. I keep getting really cool cards on the bottom of the deck here. I'm shuffling. I have shuffled the awesome. Get the world here on the bottom. You are complete. So this is the Wild Unknown Tarot. It has owls for the air signs or the suit of swords and air. And I thought that would be just absolutely perfect. And I'm getting a lot of really powerful cards coming through as I connect here to my Libra friends. I've seen the Magician, I've seen Strength, now I see the Star. Very powerful. Healing. Okay, I will humbly read your cards, Libra. Let's see what's going on. I had lots of thoughts about you on my walk. I get an 8 of Cups here on the bottom as your hidden energy, or your underlying energy. That is a card where you are leaving because you're missing a cup. Something is missing. There's a lack of fulfillment here. And in this deck, it's quite a somber card. What else we get here? Wow, 10 of Wands. Are you having trouble at work? Are you thinking about leaving your job? 3 of Swords. Son of Wands. Wow, let's see. Let's get in here. Okay, let's see what's going on with you, Libra. First card will be your recent past. All right, you get 3 of Pentacles, collaborative, 3D, artsy maybe, making things under the mountain here, beneath the mountain, the sacred mountain here. Recent past. We'll come back. Just gonna see what opens up here. Wonderful. You have in your present the Empress. She is Queen of the Woods here. I see these oak trees. That's how I think of this. There's a particular oak tree in the woods here that I find on good walks and hang out with a little bit. She's under the moon. She is pink in light coming out of the darkness. And she has been telling me in my readings very much about my relationship to my planet. Underlying influences, divine timing, fate, the wheel of fortune. I see the moon again. This is telling me here that the influence of the moon is about you, right? The Empress has the moon in the sky, and it's happens to have been yesterday the new moon in Libra. It's supposed to bring a kind of urge to make peace into us, and yet I looked at a reading from an astrologer on the sky, and she pointed out that it's also in tension with Mars. So there's an opposition between the moon in Libra and Mars over in Aries, and that these are two very different energies, and so there may be a feeling of tension, discomfort in that. But we are all supposed to be under this Libran moon and seeking balance and thinking outside of ourselves for the collective. And so seeing the new moon appear twice in this, and there's the owl. There is the air sign owl appearing in your underlying energy under a starry night with that beautiful artsy wall of yarn, rainbow yarn. And of course, Librans, you are artists. You have that imagination. I think also of Libra as a part of the word librarian. You, my dear, are in a 5 of Pentacles. This is you. This card represents you in this reading. It's a sad card. It's a feeling of being left out, and I want to know more, because that's a state you can leave. In Jodorowsky talks about 5s as a passageway. So if you're in a 5, it can be uncomfortable, and it means you're moving into another space. And since we had on the bottom of the deck this energy of taking leave, that might be a part of why maybe you're considering taking leave. Of course, Libra, as I understand it, you're going to take a good while to consider that change if you decide to make it. But perhaps you're in one of your dark phases where you're weighing whether or not this is the life that you want. Okay. Yay, the person in your life, or the people in your life, are the Fool. So you have that going for you. It might be a little bit frustrating when you are in a present of Empress and your people around you, your person is this Fool, this happy-go-lucky, light person, not thinking about history, has completely forgotten history, and is just ready to take that leap of faith. I think that's a wonderful person to be around if you're in the mood for it. So I don't know why I feel like there's tension here between your 5 of Pentacles, which is a very practical, being left out in the cold kind of feeling, and this little duckling that is this Fool. Okay, now we're going to get you a little piece of advice, and it's beautiful advice. I saw this coming through the cards when I was shuffling, and that is strength. There is the lion who is presenting the rose. The lion is all sunshine, all power, that kind of Leo, sunny energy. And it is a card of willpower and benevolence and femininity, in the way that you might handle that masculine side of yourself and have generosity, kindness, self-control here. So that's the advice, to use your strength here. And we will find out more about that. And finally, the Empress is the present. The Emperor is your future. So that's interesting. There's a masculine-feminine tension here potentially. We see perhaps moving from these kind of trees, this is where you are now, to, we live up here under the sacred peaks with a bunch of ponderosa pines. There is an eclipse, the moon eclipsing the sun, which very much makes me think about your advice. And so that is, again, that figure of strength, who is a very feminine, nurturing woman who is putting her hand into the lion's mouth. This shows that she has tamed the lion. And so when I see the Emperor under that eclipse in this particular deck, I often think about the feminine eclipsing the masculine, although the Emperor represents the sort of peak of masculinity, all the kings in one. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of energy here that I'm just really feeling nosy about. Curious what is happening. Fate is in the background, and so you might not have a lot of choice here. And you aren't aware of that as it is in the deck here. This is in the hidden energies. And you might not be aware that there's some kind of divine, fated force at work in your life. Yeah. I can't tell. I know you're in a funk. That's what I am seeing, if this is for you. So let's find out more. Perhaps you're just in a passageway. Looking at your recent past, which you have the Three of Pentacles. This is artsy, collaborative, creating with others. And what I understand of Libras, you're very social. You like community. You like to build community. And you're very creative and imaginative. And so in the recent past, you have been right where I would imagine would be your comfort zone. And to clarify that, Five of Pentacles, this is you. This is the card. You have this also here. So we're getting this in the past, which means you're going to be able to move out of this energy. You can see this poverty-stricken, wounded, sad couple. He's got a hurt hand, and the trees have pentacles on them, but the feeling of these people is that they're impoverished. So usually this card means not seeing that you have the key into the room. You have pentacles hanging on this tree. You're focusing on the negative here in the recent past. Yeah, and the underlying energy here is the Three of Cauldrons. So you're feeling Five of Pentacles, but there's actually this society of friends and parties and joy that is also present. What else? The Knight of Swords. So you are an air sign. The swords are the suit of air, of blood, of spring, the season spring. Warm blood. And it's often read that the truth is cold and that the swords are the cold suit. But really that's not accurate. The cold suits are earth, the pentacles, and the cups are the wintry, phlegmatic suits. So warm swords, warm truth. I think about this as something that I feel motivated as a tarot reader to correct in the way that we think about these suits, because I'm a historian of the time that these suits were invented and institutionalized. So in your reading here, we see a stern knight with the sword of truth turning his or her or their back on this impoverished family. That doesn't seem very you, Libra. It seems like perhaps this knight is going to battle on behalf of those who are feeling impoverished. That seems much more like you. And this is your recent past. This is your collaborations. And finally, very passionately so, is this Knight of Rods. So I do see you going to battle in a kind of fierce mode in the recent past. With others, maybe. Maybe you're hanging out with a Knight of Rods. I see you as this very thoughtful Knight of Swords. He's thinking. He's inward. Reflecting. And then there's that rainbow sword that really, it really shows up to me as a rainbow sword. And this resonates here with these rainbow pentacles, which we're clarifying in your recent past. So your recent past is collaborative. It is young, rash, fast energy of the Knights of Rods and Swords. Those are the two fastest suits in the deck. And it looks to me like a battle, perhaps with one another, this Knight of Rods and this Knight of Swords, this balancing between truth, passion, selfishness, humanitarianism. I think on behalf of the Five of Pentacles in the past. So see what resonates with you there. presently the Empress, which is the divine feminine, the beautiful tree under the moon in the dark, shining out her light into the darkness. Very much goes with what we just saw. So you've come somewhere presently. It's a much more peaceful, stable, nurturing, powerful, and mature energy. So let's see. What do we find? Communication, travel, fast acting, the willpower represented by the wands, passion, creativity. So this is messages here, and I'm really drawn in this to see the birds that are flying around in the sky. I think of her as she's probably going to hop on one of those brooms and fly wherever, sort of a witchy energy in the present. Are you feeling like you'd like to travel? That makes sense to me. Been a lot of not traveling since March in my life. Okay, what else in the present? The Six of Cauldrons. This is usually interpreted as a soulmate, nostalgia, inner child kind of thing happening here. In this particular deck, I always see her pushing him away. And so we can get a reading on in this deck, in this Six of Cauldrons, and in another deck that I like, that this is something that you're just, you're moving away from the past. The way that the cards are laid on the table, you're moving away from him towards these brooms, towards this journey, which is represented by the Eight of Rods or Wands. And you're sitting in the present in this really powerful pink and purple and red Empress energy. And I can't help but notice that this Eight of Rods, her red dress, that's very much about passion, willpower, Aries, Mars kind of energy. And I'm reminded again that the new moon in Libra is in direct opposition to Mars in Aries. So we might see actually some tension here. It's very gendered tension, more gendered than normal. I very much dislike the binary that can come up in tarot, but if we think about fluidity of the resistance perhaps that we're seeing in these nights to binarism, black and white kind of thinking, then this Empress, her color is transitioning really between dark and light. And finally, in the present, we get the High Priestess, this very powerful, natural, woodsy, intuitive energy. The little black cat there. The black cat often also appears in the Queen of Wands, and I'm drawn to that. I often miss seeing the black cat in the Queen of Wands. She can be a bit of a drama queen, the Queen of Wands. The High Priestess is intuitive, feminine, transformative power. Listening, perhaps you're listening and connecting intuitively. And again, I'm reminded of the earth and the presence of our planet and nature. And we see the new moons there in the corners. All right. Hidden energy. We have the Wheel of Fortune in your hidden energy. So we'll clarify the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like I'm still trying to get a handle on this, but I feel tension and conflict in you. I feel you going to battle. And I know from what I've read about Libras that you can either be so concerned about others that you can be a bit of a doormat and you forget yourself, or you can turn that concern for others into a sense of social justice and activism. And that's the kind of energy that I'm getting in this reading is this righteous, just energy on behalf of. And really, yes, I kind of see in the Six of Cauldrons the tension perhaps between your personal relationship and that sense of justice, of that need to go out in the world and bring justice into that. And that relationship could just mean like your selfish needs. So I'm feeling a lot of balancing more as a kind of tension here. And I think that's why the gender's coming in the reading, is this masculine, feminine, black and white kind of tension. Okay. Take or leave any of it. All right, hidden energy. There it is again, your recent past, the Three of Pentacles. So that's still there. What else? Six of Pentacles. Charitable giving, generosity, hierarchical giving, one rich, one poor. This reiterates for me this sort of feeling that you're fighting for impoverished people. This is where the collaboration is happening. And of course, this is clarifying the Wheel of Fortune. So that's something that's really fated, destined, and the timing of this is out of your hands, but it's lucky. And so the Ace of Swords, truth bringer. This is a new truth that is emerging unbeknownst to you. It is probably something that you're going to see ahead, or maybe because you're doing this reading, you're watching this reading, that truth is you're becoming aware of it. So this is very Pentacles, very 3D, very intellectual. I definitely see creative, imaginative genius here, which I think is appropriate for you, Libra, as is the air and the Ace of Swords, this truth, this sanguine, hot, wet truth. Not cold, not hard, sanguine, of the blood. I think these swords are making us think about that warmth of blood in battle. That's really weird. I was on my walk, I was thinking about that. I think I'm a little obsessed with this. And I was thinking of the Moravians who were from Eastern Europe, like Transylvania area, and they were a Christian sect that came to the Americas in the 17th, 18th centuries. And they were really obsessed with blood and with the wound of Christ, and sort of really erotically putting their hand into the wound that Christ had, in the midst of his crucifixion. And then I thought about vampires and a kind of the artsy Libran aesthetic beauty being so important. Lots of interesting images came to mind as I was just preparing myself to read your cards today. So that seems really weird, and take it or leave it. If you're into vampires, interesting. Yeah, and clarifying the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune. There's a lot of interesting repetition that's just happening right away here in these cards. So we kind of have a picture of where you've been, where you are, what you may not be aware of. And I see you fighting for social justice, and you bringing the needed truth with love, not with violence, but with this thoughtful knight here. This beautiful, feminine, intuitive, just nature, the Empress. Okay, let's clarify you here. You're the Five of Pentacles. You're this sad, droopy rose that's losing a petal against a very black background. It looks like a rainy night to me, which of course I love a rainy night. I miss the rainy nights. That's a song, right? I love the rainy nights. I won't sing for you. So that makes me feel yearning. So are you yearning for somewhere else, another climate, maybe? Let's find out. Okay. You are artist, imaginative, Eight of Pentacles, hardworking. You are you're making things. Pentacles, again, very 3D. There's a lot of very earthy, pentacly, practical energy here. And you're using your art. You're building new skills here. Strength again. This is your advice. This is you. It clarifies you as a Five of Pentacles. So you're feeling Five of Pentacles, but you're actually this great artist with this strength. And this is a fabulous card with the naked feminine. She's totally riding this lion. She's got him by the tail. None of this gently putting her hands into his mouth. She is dominating the masculine. And with that, she brings healing, right? The caduceus there. And Mercury is in retrograde, so be careful about that. Hermes, Mercury, miscommunication here. This is just the opposite of being a doormat, and it completely goes with the vibe I have of you as social justice warrior, which of course, the particular Libra that I'm thinking of who asked for this reading, that is so you. You are such a warrior, and fantastic. Sexy, too. Wow. All right, and thirdly, you are the King of Cups, the King of Cauldrons. He is emotionally mature. They are emotionally mature. I see here a bearded woman, very drag queeny vibe at the moment I'm getting from this card. The blue authenticity. And the king is not forthcoming with the king's feelings. The king is very private emotionally. And this is not because they're not aware of their feelings. They're just using their communication skills to take care of the outside world. And so this, I think, conforms again to that Libran tendency to put yourself in the background in order to speak to the needs of your kingdom. And I'm really thinking here, there's an iris in the background, and it makes me think of a poem by Louise Gluck, The Wild Irises. And so it makes me think of depression. And the poem is beautiful, so if you don't know the poem, look it up. But it's actually written from the perspective of the iris as a bulb under the earth. And that, as a way of describing depression, really helped me understand it. I don't have depression, not that kind of deep, long-lasting depression. But I see you, this Eight of Pentacles, you have strength, but you're depressed here. And that goes with the card we are clarifying for you is this Five of Pentacles. So remember, you are this, really awesome, powerful feminine, and you are this creative genius that is this hard worker. As you perhaps walk through this depression that you may or may not be in. It's just what came into my head, which the more I do this, the more it's just kind of really an awesome feeling to just say what comes into my head, and maybe it's true for you. Okay, the people in your life, or the person in your life, this cute little, probably annoying duckling if you're depressed, or if you're like seriously engaged in social justice. The Fool can be a great collaborator in social justice, absolutely fearless. Just sort of a little duckling or a little chick way out there balancing on that branch. So that could be great. But let's find out more about this person or others around you. The Ace of Pentacles. This is such an interesting card, right? The Ace of Pentacles, it's like a new opportunity, a new job, a new house, and this is people in your life, right? And then there's like this altar, it's bloody. I find it so intriguing that there's this bloody altar in this card. So this person, this Fool, is asking you to make a sacrifice. And they're kind of like being a bunny rabbit about it. Like, really, I see a male bunny here. I don't know why. I see masculinity. Pentacles are very feminine, earth. This season is the season of pentacles and earth, the dark and the cold, coming in before winter precipitation. And the feminine is rising in the coolness here, but this bunny rabbit is a hare, and I think of a very fast energy. So yeah, this fool's pushing you, asking you to make a sacrifice. Okay, that's weird. They're also anxious. They're in the Nine of Swords, or somebody around you is full of anxiety. So you're feeling depressed, and they're anxious. They're having insomnia. They're having bad dreams. Yeah, since you are strength, and strength is your advice, and you're holding this Caduceus. I'm probably saying that wrong. Somebody corrected me recently. It may be that your advice is compassion for this fool around you. You know, you're clearly in tension with somebody around you. This is a difficult person or people. Maybe people at work are driving you mad. And then we get the Four of Swords. This person is healing, or these people are healing. I really see this person in an institution, actually. Not like it could be a mental hospital, but I see them as in an institutional healing setting. Four of Swords. Or they themselves are healing. And that's probably a part of where this Fool energy is maybe coming from, because it's weird, like they're a happy-go-lucky fool, but also they've got insomnia, they're healing. So it could be more than one person in your life. It could be like your crew. And since we keep seeing the Three of Pentacles, that could suggest your community is in a state of Nine of Swords, Four of Swords. And they seem foolish to you. Yeah. I know we're coming up to an election, and sometimes when I look at the people, this category, and clarify it, I think of the public, I think of other voters. Then I see you here as this King of Cauldrons. He looks worried to me. He's sort of, I don't know, take or leave that. I do get the Lovers as the underlying here in the people around you. That's a choice, but it calls to be your partner. I hope not, for your partner's sake, because that looks very uncomfortable to be them, if that's your partner. Okay, your advice. Let's get some advice here, my friend. Honestly, we need some advice. You have strength, you are strength, and your advice is strength. You know, and I see that this lion has the rose in his teeth, and you are the rose. So when I see the lion with the rose in his teeth, that's like an offer of love. It's almost like an Ace of Cups kind of feel. And so if you're feeling maybe that you're not being received and recognized so know your own worth. That's, if you're looking for somebody else to validate you, look here, look to you. You are strength. You are offering yourself this healing, this love, this recognition of your worth. Wow, that came through. Let's clarify strength in your advice. Okay, there you are. Justice. Look at that gorgeous bird. This fabulous person with the robes, with the scales. And often Justice is holding a sword, But this person is holding some other tool. But he's dressed quite fantastically. And there is a stairway. There's a climbing up the stairs to that mountain where there's that incredible bird rising. It's very similar actually to the Justice card in this deck, which is the Wild Unknown, where there's a bird rising up from the darkness. And this bird has light shining out from it. So this again makes me think of you as the truth bringer, as the bringer of justice, as a part of, and a part of that is truth and the sun. It's light. You're to bring light here. The Strength card has those rays of light coming out from it too. Bring your light, baby. Okay, what else is your advice? The Magician. You have all the tools. Look at you. You're fantastic. There's a unicorn. There's a wolf. My wolf dog is walking through the house right this moment to reiterate that. There's a starry sky. There's lightning bolts of inspiration. Yes, there is the moon again. But you have all the tools. The Magician is the manifester. So you have strength, justice, the Magician. This is incredible, powerful advice. Use your tools. Create the world that you wish to see. Climb that stairway. Bring your light. Recognize your worth. You know, you're this rose offered gently in the mouth of this magnificent lion. So know that. Wow, you have something really important that you have to do, and you're being shown that you have everything that you need to do that. It's a little bit of pressure, but you can do it. And if you want any more power, how about some mastery? How about the Chariot? In this deck, this is just like an incredible drag queen riding a rainbow chariot down, fast, momentum, all the elements brought together. I love this transy person here. Wow, those horses are gorgeous. They are works of art. So I'm drawn to tell you, my friend, this art, this mastery, this is yours as well. Wow, you have a big job. Wow, I want to watch this happen. This is awesome. And the future is, so like you're coming out of battle. You're feeling low, depressed, inward. The truth is, with you. Injustice, a kind of very practical world is with you. But when we get into your future, the advice is hardcore badassery for you. I'm very excited because the two Libras that I'm thinking about, you are both fully these amazing, powerful people who can bring this, who can take this advice. I'm excited for you. So the future, let's see. The Emperor is the future, and I definitely want clarification on that. The Empress is the present. And of course, as I said, I'm drawn to the moon eclipsing the sun, and as I have been talking about, you bringing the light, and then I see the masculine and an eclipse eclipsing that light in the future. It seems a little, well, I want to know. Let's know more. Very, very hard to see the future, and this really deck is saying, yeah, good luck. You're not going to get to see the future. This is illusion. The moon in the tarot. So there's a lot going on under the moon, and you're not going to totally know what's going on unless you just really get comfortable in not knowing. So you have this light to bring, justice. You're the magician. There's mastery, the chariot, momentum and power. And that's your advice, strength. And then there's this eclipse in the future, illusion, which is the moon that is eclipsing the light that you're bringing in the future. So just, you're going to need all four of these major arcana cards in order to face this future. The future looks a little bit hard for me. This is great. Hermiting, the wise one, the hermit. This is a future of solitude, going inward. You don't have to be alone to do that. It just means that there's a future, perhaps because the moon is blocking your light here in the future. The masculine is blocking the feminine. Only the moon here is somehow playing the role of the block on your light, because I'm reading you as this very powerful feminine person. Even the King of Cauldrons is bringing the emotions. So that I see this Emperor eclipsed, and then the moon or illusion. The wise one does have a light, so there's an inward knowledge in the future. So that's very positive. And shall we reiterate the Emperor? That's no clarification when you get the same card. Yeah, I don't know. I don't always feel like the Emperor is bad, and I'm sorry to give you a kind of like weird future look here, but yeah, I'm seeing some kind of tension between the moon and the masculine, which I think is good, is positive. But it's also, I don't know, because I was thinking about the election, it makes me concerned a little bit. I don't mean to be doing a reading on the election here. I'm ready for us to have this age of Aquarius, this change, this and maybe because you are justice, you are the Libran balancer of both energies here, you'll take this presence of the Emperor in the future and the Empress in the present as a positive kind of balancing of energies. Yeah, it looks a little bit hard, my dear, but you're a badass. And you can handle it, and you're being reminded you are a badass. And so don't worry, you got this. All right, let me know. It may be not for you. I hope it's not as hard as this looks, but if it is, I hope it helps you to know who you are. You're an artist, you're amazing, and you have the truth, and you are definitely being called to something here. And I'm on your side. So I look forward to knowing more about this future for you. Okay, bye, Libra.